Hello, bit of a self-reflective one from me today. I'm aware that in my last few videos I've spoken more about our fans and their lack of um, energy towards getting the Glazers out, and I've criticised them quite a bit. I've spent more time doing that than I have talking about the real root cause of the problem, which of course is the Glazers. That's born out of a strong sense of injustice that the Glazers still own our club. We all know it's wrong on every level that they were allowed to, and that they've been continued to allow to be allowed to own our club. And it feels like they're rubbing their incompetence in our faces towards the back end of this window. So there's a strong sense of injustice in me. Whenever I feel like that, I want to right that wrong. I feel a lack of control. I feel immobilized, which I don't like. So then I think, right, well, how do we mobilize then? Or how do I mobilize? Now, that's why then I think we need to do something about this. We can't just sit here moaning. And then when I guess my ideological vision of, like, I suppose, en masse boycotts, etc., doesn't even get close to happening, I'm back to the start of the cycle where I feel a sense of injustice again. I feel a sense of injustice that people don't seem to get what I mean, or people don't feel the same as me. But that's life. So then I get angry, I get sarcastic, I get passive aggressive, I get confrontational, which I'm sure I've come across as being in the last few videos. It is born out of a sense of injustice towards the Glazers. The Glazers are hated universally by United fans, certainly not liked, and everyone will have different reasons. A lot of people have the same sort of reasons for hating them, but everyone will have slightly different, nuanced ways of reasons why they would hate the Glazers or dislike them. For me, I dislike them because they symbolise everything I don't like in people. They have no common courtesy. They are arrogant. They spread lies. They gaslight us. They manipulate. And they spread false hope. And I think they insult our intelligence as well. And if you listed, what would you call it, behaviours, values in people that I dislike, you've just ticked every one, probably of my top pet peeves. So I can almost separate from their behaviour, as in what they've done to the club in terms of their lack of care, their lack of, their negligence, their incompetence, the money they've taken out. They've never really professed to be anything different than what they are, which is leeches. And when they do profess they're something different, I'm like, yeah, well, we all know that's not true. So that's a problem. But it's who they are as people that really get my goat. Now, in other walks of life, you can walk away from people like that, or you can fight them, or you can ignore them, or you can ridicule them, or you can talk about them to other people and expose them. You can drop them from your life completely. It's very difficult to do that with the Glazers because, like a leech, they've attached themselves to something that we love. And it's difficult to abandon something that you love. But in not abandoning United, you're face to face with the Glazers. Because every part of our club now, unfortunately, is stained by them. So if you want to support and watch and be involved in Manchester United in 2023, you can't get away from the Glazers because their paw prints are all over everything to do with our precious, beautiful, beloved football club. And I find that really, really difficult. There's nothing to love about United under the Glazers. What are we proud of? What can we identify with? What I should take ownership. Sorry. What can I identify with? What do I relate to? What do I identify with this club that I see in front of me now? Nothing. It's all about memories. It's all about the past. It's all about the feeling I had when I was younger supporting United. Those scarves that are behind me, memories I've got with family and friends of watching them. The ups, the downs, the shirts I used to wear as a kid, the smell of the the hot dogs outside the ground, the memories, the past. It's all about that. Famous players we've had who we all love and adore and we can idolise and talk about, and we're proud that they play for our club. It's all the past. So this slogan, Love United, Hate Glazer, is really difficult to live by because you can't separate one from the other anymore. There used to be a time when they coexisted, the Glazers, United. Unfortunately, too much time's gone by and they've morphed into one. So, what you see at the end of this window, this transfer window, is a pathetic, grovelling, skint club. I'm going to try and stop saying football club because we're not, are we? And we are scrambling around having to sell or loan out Donny van der Beek and Dean Henderson, who neither of which have played for United in recent times, really. We're having to rely on selling those players or loaning them out before we can then go and approach Amrabat for 20 million. And there was even talk that we were doing a €2 million loan over 2 payments last night. So Amrabat and Cucurella on loan, or another left back on loan. We can't even afford to buy a left back. Now the reality of that is really, really dark. That means, very literally, not in kind of like we're skint, but we can go and get another loan out or whatever. The club is absolutely skint. It's bust. It's going bust. Essentially, that's what's happening to United. Is they're on the precipice. United, in my understanding of it, by the way that they've operated at the end of this window and what we're hearing, all of that suggests there isn't any money in the coffers. We are broke. Now, if the Glazers stay without any minority investment or without a new owner or without, even, God forbid, you know what, I thought I'd actually take it now. I never thought I'd say it, but even if Sir Jim comes in, I don't want that. But if we don't have that, or we don't have a new owner, or we don't have minority investment, then the reality is quite scary. In a way, scary. In a way, I think it'll lead to the end game because we can't carry on like this. So in the end, maybe we need to get to that point where we're completely broken, both literally and figuratively broke. And maybe that will force the hand and they'll have to go. There is some optimistic opinions out there that suggest that maybe the reason they're not, optimistic opinions that suggest that the announcement of the takeover will come after the window has closed. There's a few people that have said that for a while. When that is, then the whole circus starts again as to, is it going to be just after, is it going to be October, is it going to be Christmas, and that we're all in that again. But let's just park that for now. Let's just say optimistically, okay, maybe they're not spending any more money because they've just down tools and abandoned ship now, and they don't want any part of anything to do with United, and that's the reason. Let's hope, let's pray that that's what it is, because if it's not, and we are stuck with this reality, I tell you what, it is very, very worrying. Matt Goldbridge mentioned yesterday, like the food chain, the football food chain, and as he said, Nottingham Forest are above us because Nottingham Forest could afford to put a bid in yesterday for Amrabat, in terms of finances at least, in terms of the financial food chain. They can put a bid in for Amrabat where we're pilling around looking at a loan and then maybe thought, well, actually, maybe they're not going to accept that. Can we find 20 million from somewhere? Manchester United. Clubs like United don't ever operate near a barrier where you're having to think about 20 million here or 20 million there. Clubs like Man United operate where it's 200 million here or 200 million there. So it's got to this point and we have to be at the end game because if, well, one way or another, we will be at the end game. But one end game looks like they're leaving, and it'll all been worth it. If they go, it'll all been worth this whole mess for however long it's been going on for. Just that moment when we hear they've gone will be one of the best moments a United fan could ever wish to have. But if they stay, the end game gets an awful lot uglier. So, bit of a reflection there on I guess soul searching really for me in terms of the last few videos that I've done, and I don't want to be a spreader of negativity, and you know, I do accept we're not gonna have a United fan base. You can't. There's too many, and you do have to splinter the fan base, and we do have to be disruptive. I still believe in everything I've said. The way I've said it probably definitely has been born out of that sense of injustice, and powerlessness and immobilization that the Glazers have caused. And I want us to mobilize, and I want us to fight back. I'm a strong believer that you stand up for things that you believe in. Glazers out.